Hey guys, welcome back to the Betar Project. I'm your host, Nick Betar. Super keen for today's episode. Today I am joined by Matt Grant, brother. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Mate, thanks for having me. I love this shit.
Man, I like to start my podcast with gratefuls. What are you grateful for today?
Well, obviously, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be speaking with you today. I really do love connecting with people. I'm so lame, but the weather, man, the sunshine does something to me. And it's such a beautiful day here in Sydney right now. So, that is something I'm definitely grateful for, especially being locked in. We're all in lockdown at the moment and life's a bit weird and people are a bit flat and emotions are all over the shop. So looking at something like the beautiful weather makes life just that little bit better. So
That's it.
yeah.
It's the
What
small
about you,
things in
man?
life. Man,
What about you? What do you got?
bro, same as you, man. Being outside, as I mentioned before, I went for my run and you just get that energy when the sun's out, nice weather. Just such a great feeling when you're outside. And then obviously sitting here, having the opportunity to talk to you, man. I love doing this stuff and networking and connecting with people and sharing your story and diving into it as we will soon. So, man, super grateful for you coming on.
Mate, you're very, very welcome.
And like, I'm pumped to talk to you. Like, I was listening to some bits and pieces of your podcast, and I love how raw you are, and also how emotional you are, and you just don't care. Like, you're honest and open about how you feel and your emotions, and it's great to see a dude like do that. Like, so many guys hold that in, as you would know. So, man, appreciate you and your podcast, and keen to dive into your story.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've always been an emotional bugger, like since childhood. But I think that really learning about what vulnerability can do for other people is there's something special about it. And because I do speak about topics that are close to my heart, I cry, I laugh, and I'm sitting in a room by myself crying, talking into a into a microphone. You know what I mean? It sounds crazy, but this is the stuff that I feel people need to hear. And mate, it's looking at, I'm sure you touch on this a lot, but looking at where the suicide rates are in young males, I mean, it's terrible, losing 9 Australians every day, 7 of those being males. Like it's horrible. So hearing people, like myself and like, people that you interview, and I'm sure like yourself, like getting raw, getting deep and getting the real messages out is everything to me. So I'm glad that you see that and understand that and appreciate it. So thank you, man.
Yeah, and like if you're vulnerable, it also allows other people to be vulnerable, and then just creates that ripple effect. And then hopefully one day, there's no stigma around mental health, and people are more open about their feelings and emotions. So it's just one conversation at a time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So for people who don't know you, you want to kind of introduce yourself, what you do, and then we'll dive into your story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so my name is Matt Grant. I live on the northern beaches in Sydney. I've got 3 kids, 3 beautiful boys, and a beautiful wife. And I run a gym on the North Shore called MG Fitness. And I host a podcast, Real Life with MG, which I guess is a similar concept to what you do, Nick. I interview people and hear their inspiring stories and, preach some pretty cool messages. I also run mental health and fitness events and workshops. And this is something that I want to really focus on because this is some of the best work I do is when you get a group of people together and, and run these great workshops and stuff. And I also run health retreats as well, which is what I want to make that a bigger part of my life. But at the moment, it's a little bit challenging with what we're allowed to do and stuff. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's me before we dive deep. That's like the surface line stuff.
I love that. You know what? Let's just dive straight in, bro. If you're happy to dive straight in, let's go back to the beginning. Obvious, like, where did your journey start? Did you grow up in Sydney?
Yeah. Look, my my parents were never married. They had me and then they split up when I was about 2. And obviously I was too young to know any difference. So my my mum and my dad, I never remembered them being together, so it's fine. Like, did it have an effect on me? I don't feel like it has. However, like, how do you know? I was so young. So yeah, they both kind of they both separated and remarried and had two kids of their own. So I've got like a half brother and a half sister. It's their birthday today, actually. They've got the same. They're born three years apart, birthday on the same day. And then my dad had two boys. So I've got a heap of brothers and a sister. And I'm a big family man. I've always been really close with my family. Like, there's lots of people out there who, don't get along with their family and whatever. It's definitely not me. It's yeah, I guess that's why, I'm such a community person. I'm such a let's bring people together person, because I just love family so much. I grew up on the North Shore, which is a pretty toxic place to grow up, in my opinion. It's heavily about, who has the best job, who, is the best at this, or owns the best that, or has the best looking partner and whatever. And, that got the best of me in many ways. Like, leaving high school, I was completely shredded, I had the best rig. I was training twice a day. I was partying a lot, and in that period, my world came crashing down. I was like I said, I was partying a lot and training twice a day, and I was under a lot of pressure at work, had all these big bills that I couldn't pay. And so I was just like putting myself under so much stress. And that's when I developed chronic fatigue. And chronic fatigue is just debilitating. You just can't get out of bed. Like, do you drink, Nick?
Not really, no.
Not really. Well, you've had a hangover before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, when you've got chronic fatigue, it's like you wake up every morning feeling like you've got a hangover. And it's horrible. Like, I mean, you could imagine, anyone out there who's listening, you've had a hangover before, you know what it feels like. And I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me, so I kept on, really, despite having to rest and, stick to a healthy diet and, just really focus on my health. As soon as I could get the energy to get out of bed, I would, and I'd go and I'd try and party again. And, it was all because I felt like I had to be part of it. I had to be amongst it. And this just made things worse. This chronic fatigue got worse, and it turned into a deep depression. And I didn't know what depression was. I'd heard of the Great Depression and whatever. And this is over 10 years ago now. And these days, everyone, they say, I think it's 1 in 3, 1 in 4 people suffer from a mental illness. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the stat. Everyone knows what depression is now, but back then, I would be rocking up to work in tears. I'd be in my car crying. And then I'd wipe my eyes, put sunglasses on. Lucky I ran an outdoor business, like the outdoor boot camps and stuff. And I'd get to work, and I'd get back in the car, and I'd be a bit energized from the session. But, I didn't know what was going wrong with me. Like, I didn't know, like, was I broken? What was happening? And then when I spoke to my mum about it, she's like, I think you might have depression. And that's when I went to my GP and got tested, and, he says, yeah, it sounds like you got depression. So he wrote me a script. When I should have been going to a psychiatrist, but, the GP just gave me these drugs, as GPs love to do. Yep. Not all of them, but my one did anyway. And yeah, that kind of started my mental battle journey, like my journey through mental illness. And, moved 10 years on, and I've learned a hell of a lot about mental health and how important it is. And, I've hit some very, very low points, in my life. And it's super hard to talk about, obviously. But like, there has been times I've never gone to end my life, but the thoughts have definitely been there over the years. And mate, I live in this beautiful home. It's not like a mansion, but I live in a beautiful home here in Coleroy. And, I've got 3 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife. And, there's been times where I've just thought, I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't see my purpose in this world. I've got something in me that's missing. My kids are everything to me. Like, you'll see my Instagram and I'm always out with my kids, and being a parent is just everything, and you get to experience that soon, my man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I saw your
man.
Instagram.
I'm excited.
It's unreal. It's just like nothing. Like, you don't know true love until you see your own flesh and blood, man. Like, yeah. And this is what I've got to experience. There's a reason why I've had 3 of them. Hell, we'll probably have another kid, now that I am getting better. It's just so fucking great. It is so fucking great. But to think that I can be at a point where I don't want to be here anymore, when I've got these kids that look up to me, I'm got so many people in my life who love me. And this is this thing called depression. This is fucking depression. And people need to understand that this is a real thing. If someone like myself can be sitting here thinking, like, what is the point in life with everything that I've got, and not understand it, like, this is a real thing. There was a point where I was lying in my bed, and this is one of my kind of rock bottoms. I mean, I think a lot of people have their rock bottoms in life, where they can just feel, a lot of people haven't experienced this, obviously, but for me, there's been a few times where I've been like, this is the lowest of lows. And I remember just this one time I was in my bed. No one was home. I was bawling my eyes out. I just couldn't stop crying. And, was I going to do anything silly? No, but the thoughts were there. And I thought, I don't know what to do. And there was this tiny, tiny little voice inside my head. I don't know where it came from, but it said, Matt, you fucking pick up that phone. You pick up that phone and you call someone. And I did. I didn't call anyone. I messaged my dad, my best friend, and my wife. And as soon as I sent that message out, my dad called straight away. I answered it and he could just hear me crying. And then my wife was trying to get through on the other line, and I was getting text messages from my best mate. All of these people that were, and I wasn't saying I'm going to go and jump off the cliff up the road. That's not what I was saying in this message. I just said, I'm really struggling right now. I need you. And this is one of the biggest lessons I can give anyone in life, is that there are people that care, and we have to start reaching out. We reach these points, and I mean, think about the people in your life, man. You've got is it a fiance, wife, girlfriend?
Yeah, girlfriend.
You've got your girlfriend, you've got your parents. These people care about you. If you're in a dark place, they want to know so they can help. And, this is something that I'm getting better at. I'm really good at teaching it, but it's a struggle to practice what I preach, but I'm really getting better at it. And yeah, look, I mean, I don't know how much further around my story I can go. But, I now sit here today. Sorry, from that period, actually, Nick, if I'm blabbering too much, just cut me off.
That's all good.
From that point, I had some really big life realizations. And from there stemmed one conversation, which was my first mental health awareness event that I ran. Tagline was, one conversation can save a life. So let's get the conversation started. And from there, I thought, I'm onto something here. I reached out to a few people. Do you know Mitch Wallace from Heart on My Sleeve?
No, I don't.
Mate, you've got to look up Mitch. Yeah, he's a rock star. He's doing some really big things in the mental health space. I reached out to him and a few other guys. Another guy called Khan Porter, who's a professional CrossFit athlete who has mental health battles, and I ran this amazing mental health event. And at that point, I shared with the world, like with Instagram and whatever, that I suffer from depression. And the first time I did that, it was obviously really, really hard. And first thing I thought was, you know, people aren't going to believe me that I've suffered. They're going to think that I'm just grabbing for attention. But maybe there were people out there that were like that. But the amount of phone calls, messages, and, you know, whatever that I got was just ridiculous. The phone didn't stop. I released it on my podcast, and so many people were sharing it and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, this mental health thing, man, like people want to hear this stuff. And it's not just me being like, cool, let's see how many followers I can get by telling everyone that I had a panic attack last week. It's, hey, I had a panic attack last week and this is how I dealt with it. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to get really clear on, is the messages that I am giving out, that it's not just me saying, oh, look, I'm miserable at the moment. Everyone like my post, and, you know, give me a love heart if, you know, if you're depressed too. You know what I mean? It's more about how the hell I can help this society. And, you know, I feel like through vulnerability and through these events and through my podcast and these messages, I'm doing just that. So I guess it's a story of a dude who has been through a lot and really genuinely cares. I've never said that before, but I might, when I listen to this back, I might do a post about that. But it's the truth. I mean, you're sitting on the other end of this microphone right now and you care. I know that you do. I know that the reason I see your posts, man, and I know that you're not just a dude trying to get attention. I know that you're a guy who does care. So you get it. And I know a lot of your listeners will get it. But I think we need more people sharing their stories, and we need more people doing what you're doing and getting people to share their stories. So yeah, look, that's I guess that's me. There's probably more to the story, but for now, I mean, I think I did a pretty good job there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sure did, man. And I love what you do, because, you know, there is so many mental health advocacy people who post this depressing stuff. Oh, hey, like, as you said, leave a heart if you're depressed, and just to get the likes and the followers and maybe money, who knows. And then you got people like ourselves who are actually putting genuine content out there and sharing the stories of other people to actually share that awareness, and not saying, like you're sharing your story of, hey, I've gone through a shit time, but I'm coming out the other side of it to become the best version of myself. And these are some tips. This is what I've done. This is my journey, not just posting depressive stuff the whole time. So I love what you're doing. And we just got to keep, you know, as I said, one conversation at a time. And as you mentioned if you are in a dark place, reach out, because family and friends actually care about you. I feel like so many times we get in a mindset of, I don't want to be a burden to other people. And I've been in that as well. Like I haven't been to like rock bottom or anything, but I've been in places where I just didn't want to reach out to people because I felt like they didn't care. But really, once I've actually communicated with them, they do care. So it's just reaching out, because people love and care about you. You're not alone in this. Everyone goes through the mental struggles, the ups and downs in life. That's why I really don't understand why there's a whole bloody stigma around it, because everyone goes through it at some stage or another in life. It's really confusing.
Well, let me ask you, so how did you feel when you did reach out? Like when you do come out of the darker funks and then you do reach out to someone and you see that they care, how do you feel?
Feel good. You feel like a sense of belonging.
Totally, man. And this is the thing. This is why it's like, and then you think, man, I wish I reached out, you know, a few days ago when I was really in it. I think the world is slowly changing, but you know, it is hard. It is hard to reach out when you do feel like a burden. Like obviously I don't know how low you get, but you know, I say this all the time, but even if people aren't struggling from depression per se, like the actual depression, you know, people still have flat days. People still need to, do you follow the Shaka Project?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, I'm good mates with him. Yeah.
Oh, are you really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, he does such a great job, but he posted something the other day that was like, reach out to your most successful mate, reach out to your happiest mate. And I loved it because it's not just the ones who, like, people know that I have, my friends like you, like so many people know that I have depression, right? So they might reach out to me because I've got depression, but they don't know, A, who else out there is suffering, but B, they don't know who might need that phone call that day. They don't know if someone's just lost, their family pet, or, lost their job, or is, doing it tough at the moment, that just needs your call. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I say it so much, a lot of the times people won't reach out to their friends and family, but as a society, we should be reaching into those people. And even if they are, the life of the party, or they're seen as successful, still reach out to them, because as you said, they could be having a shit day, a shit week, something bad could happen in their life, but because they're seen as, successful. And I come from like a sporting background, and you see all these athletes who, they play NRL, whatever the case may be, and they're seen to be living the good life. Nothing can go bad in their life. They're not human, but in reality, they go through the same highs and lows as what we do, just at maybe different levels. So reach out,
Yeah.
reach into them people as well.
Look, I think that a part of that could even be worse for them
Mm.
because they're under so much pressure. Like, they've got all the cameras on them. If they fuck up, someone goes and misses a field goal on the buzzer, to tie the game up. They might be on almost $1 million a year. They've got all these cameras on them. How much pressure, man?
Exactly. And then
How
they go
much
into the
pressure
sheds
is that?
after, check their phone, and some of the messages they receive, like go kill yourself and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand how people
Totally.
can send that shit to people.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't get it either, Nick. Like, it's, Greg, do you know Greg Bird?
No.
He's a dragon. He did he posted something about that. Like, he was really struggling and he's just getting absolutely drilled. And then there's a photo that was posted of him like crying in the dressing rooms.
Oh, was that Jack Bird you mean?
What did I just say?
You said Greg Bird.
I meant to say Jack Bird.
I
Oh
was
my
going to
gosh.
say, yeah, Jack Bird. Yeah, I know that
What did I
bloke.
say?
Yeah.
Who's Greg Bird? He's an old
Yeah,
footy
he
player
played
too.
for the
Anyway,
Titans. Yeah.
yeah. My bad. Sorry, Jack, if you're listening. But yeah, and I'm a mad dragon, so that's not really good on my behalf. But anyway, yeah, and he said something like, we shouldn't. I don't know if it was him that said it or if it was someone else, but why are they allowing cameras in the changing rooms?
Mm.
These people are so passionate about their sport and what they do, and they may have, in their eyes, they've just fucked up and lost a game. They go into the changing rooms, their safe space, they're crying, and then they've got cameras on them. And then they've got other people commenting saying this guy's on almost $1 million a year and he's in the change rooms crying. Like, it's just not on. And it needs to change. It needs to change. And I really hope that, as our kids grow up, they grow up in a world where that has changed and, life is different, and we start to, accept things a little bit more and not place so much pressure on everyone around us,
Yeah, that's the thing. Society pressure, like, it fucks a lot of people up. Like, especially men, how we're supposed to be the breadwinner. We're supposed to, make all the money and be successful in that. Like, that's what society tells us. Or we got to have kids. We got to get married. We got to have the house. All those pressures that gets put on us. That's why so many people, get depression and go through real dark times. It's because of them. And the term depression as well also gets chucked around a lot, I believe. You've gone through actual depression, but then you also have people who just have a bad day and they go, I'm depressed.
Mm.
But they don't know what actual depression is. You've just had a bad day. Like, it's a right to feel down. Like, that's normal. Doesn't mean you're depressed. And that's what I dislike about the mental health, like all the mental health stuff as well, is people throwing around that term depression, because it kind of takes the piss out of people who actually have it, if you get what I mean.
Of course. And look, my dad, first time I told my dad that I suffer from depression, he laughed. And I was like, what the fuck are you laughing about? My dad's like my best mate. And he put his hand up. He was like, me too. And I was like, what? You He's like the perfect human in my opinion. Like he's this big, lovable character and always, has heaps of energy and he's so funny and, he's just loves being with his mate. He's just awesome. And when he said that, I was like, wow. And he goes, Matty, I would give my left, like this is what he describes depression as. It's like when you're flat, you'd give your left arm to feel better. It's that bad. It's not like you've just like had a bit of a shitty day and it's like, it's that bad that you would do anything to get out of that dark hole and not experience that feeling again. And it's okay for people to have shit days, but I totally get what you're saying when people say, oh yeah, I'm feeling depressed at the moment. It's like, well, are you? Are you really? Or are you just feeling a little bit flat?
Yeah, exactly. Now, do you struggle with anxiety as well?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for anyone listening, I'm very honest and open with things, and I've come to terms with, being able to share this kind of stuff. So like I say it might sound a bit lighthearted, but it's just I've shared this. I was on someone else's podcast yesterday and I shared my story. So I don't mean to say it and laugh, but yeah, like my anxiety's been something that's been worse than the depression lately. I've changed medication, so my depression is a hell of a lot better. But my anxiety is even now I'm clutching at my chest a little bit. I've had a bit of a rough couple days. So yeah, I do.
Yeah, see, I haven't had depression, but anxiety is something I struggle with as well. For you, I guess, how does it affect you? Like, and then how do you kind of combat it and deal with it?
It's a good question. My anxiety, it comes from what do they say? They say anxiety is about the future, depression's about the past. You've heard that before? Yeah, did I say that right? I said that right.
Yeah.
So obviously when I've got stuff going on in my life and it's big, my anxiety will flare up. And my business partner and I just parted ways. We announced it a month or two ago, and it was a really tough time for me just because I was under a lot of pressure because, it was like a divorce, who gets what and, whatever. And my anxiety, I would go to bed shaking. I couldn't control my leg to the point where I'd say to my wife, I'm going to sleep on the couch tonight just so I don't have to just try and stay still. And it's really, really hard to control. In my opinion, the best thing for anxiety is what you did about an hour ago and go for a run outside. That is my way of getting on top of it. And, another good quick trick is shocking your system. So jumping in like a freezing cold shower or something, that's like a real slap in the face. Does it fix everything? Not really, but it helps. And having a conversation with someone, like my best mate, we speak all the time and all we do is laugh. We send each other funny videos and, we just laugh all the time. And I know that if I'm flat, he can kind of tell if I'm flat. It's not like he's trying to be Mr. Comedian. He'll just bring something up and we'll just be pissing ourselves. That pushes anxiety, pushes depression, pushes whatever, just to the side, just a little bit. And then you slowly kind of grow from that. But anxiety is a tricky one, man. Sometimes I don't know if you experience this, Nick, but so sometimes with my anxiety, I really can't put my finger on it. I'm like, I don't know why. Even today, like I've been under a lot of pressure. I've been podcasting a lot again, which I love. I don't think that's why I would be anxious, but then my kids have been pretty demanding over the last couple of days. Three boys, man. Three boys in a house together. We're supposed to be in lockdown, so we're staying in the house. I'm trying to do these podcasts. I'm literally kicking everyone out of the house so I can do my podcast. So I'm like frantic. I should film it. Like I'm like, everyone's just like going crazy, and then it's like, hey, how you going? It's you have to change it. So yeah, look, the anxiety is it's been pretty shitty. How do you stay on top of yours?
Running, as I just did before. I do cold showers I've been doing meditation lately, and
How do you meditate?
just like a guided one. So I just put in some headphones and listen to it. I've been doing like visualization meditation, so kind of visualizing what I want for my future, kind of thing. So that's helped me a lot. And I was reading the other day in a book, like if you're having, anxiety or overthinking or like negative thoughts and stuff, catch yourself and then out loud just say like stop or something, because your mind listens to the loudest voice. So if you say something, like it triggers you just to stop.
Oh, I
And then,
like that.
and I've done it a few times and you're like, holy shit, like what the hell? Like what was happening? Like, and you just go back to normal. So that's helped me a lot actually. So try
I
that.
like that. Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I like that. It's nice to hear different people's tips and tricks around anxiety, because I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor, but I can tell you what I do to get out of my anxiety. I have every right to do that.
Mm.
And if I'm like, you just said that to me then, and that's like, I don't even have to write that down. I'll remember that, because like I kind of said before, is shifting your situation, shifting what you're in. Like my wife would have said, go for a run. And I'll just like, I'm like a freaking dog. I can like run around the block or something, like just change my location, change my setting. And I guess by just stopping everything and literally just saying stop is a way of doing that. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. That's good.
So good.
I like it.
Yeah. As you said, it just shocks the system and snaps you out of it. And I can totally agree with, some days you have anxiety in that and you just don't know why. And I think for me, I feel like it's overstimulation from maybe pride days before that or whatever else is happening in your life. I just get really overstimulated and then my anxiety just shoots through the roof. So then I try and implement what I just mentioned before, and it helps me a lot.
Good. How long have you been suffering with your anxiety for?
My whole life, man. Like I grew up
Really?
being like shy and introverted and always had like social anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, my whole life. And only recently I've started to implement these kind of things, and I've grown so much as a person and it's really helped me too. So tip for everyone out there listening, do those small things in life and yeah, it helps a lot.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. As far as anxiety goes, I definitely wasn't an anxious kid. It's not like I was very emotional, but I couldn't say I feel like my anxiety has only stepped in like over the last couple of years. Probably since kids were born. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's the last 2 years or even last year, my anxiety has been the worst it's ever been, easily. It kind of overtook the depression. So what does that say? It probably says I'm more stressed about the future and letting my past go a little bit. This is like a counseling session. This is great.
It's good. Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, like it didn't help because I am naturally introverted. So that was like a bonus on top of that, which just increased everything. Like when I was younger, and we'll obviously talk about it when I jump on your podcast, but I don't know if you do this as well, but you create all these fears in yourself when you get put out of your comfort zone or something's happening in your life. You create all this fear in yourself. And for me, I get really fatigued, and I guess it's like a defense mechanism to like stay in your comfort zone. Like my body just goes fatigued. I get really sick, like nervous sickness, like I'll spew up. When I first did these podcasts and that, man, I would spew up before the podcast because I was that, nervous and had so much anxiety and that
Really?
yeah, like it got really
Wow.
bad for me. And like now I'm better, but if I get a big guest on and I'm nervous, bro, I'm spewing up before that.
You better have spewed before this one.
Oh, of course. That's why I was late.
I shouldn't laugh about it.
That's all you
Oh,
can
well,
do.
thanks.
Like, yeah, just
Thanks for sharing that, man. Again, I can't wait to dive deep. I can't wait to reverse this on Friday when we chat again.
yeah, it's going to be good. Like, especially talking about anxiety. Like, I did a poll, I think last week of, I said, do you suffer from anxiety? And 99% people said they did. I was like, wow,
Wow.
that so many people like go through like anxiety and all these same kind of emotions and feelings that, both of us do. And it just goes to show that you're not alone. so many people think they are alone, but really you're not.
Mm,
And the numbers
yeah.
don't lie.
No, they don't. Of course, especially when they're your numbers. They're not even something you're reading. You're reading on a website. They're literally people that have clicked on that poll and said, "Yes, I do suffer from anxiety."
Mm,
I
yeah.
love those polls and stuff. I want to start doing more of them because you do get real answers from people, and you see which it's like I'll pop up. Hey, ask me a question about this. Nothing. And then next week, hey, ask me a question about this, and there's like 10 questions. I'll be like, oh, that's what people want to share about or want to know about.
Yeah, it's a great way to connect with your community and understand them a lot more too, which is interesting. Like, I want to start doing more conversations around anxiety now that I know so many people go through it. So I'm even thinking of doing like Instagram lives and stuff and getting people on board to share their stories and then tips and tricks on how they kind of deal with it and stuff as well. So it's a great tool.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. You should definitely do that. I mean, you clearly feel comfortable in sharing. Well, I don't know if you do feel comfortable in sharing. It just seems like you are. You're quite natural at just sharing
I'm
about your
getting better
anxiety.
at it.
Yeah. When was the first time you kind of shared with, let's say, the world, like when you opened up about your anxiety?
Only recently, eh? Probably within the last month or so, month or two.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
I
I've
can't wait
I've
for
done little
Friday,
bits
man.
and pieces, but I haven't really dived into it, completely and fully. So it's
And do you
some
feel, sorry, Nick.
yeah, it's something I've held off a bit because I guess I was scared. I'll be honest, yeah, I was probably scared, maybe fear of judgment or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's why I probably didn't communicate it and put it out there.
You don't have to as well. This is
Mm,
the thing, and this is a message I would like to send to people as well. Just because I announced that I had depression, it doesn't mean that you have to go and do it. I would highly recommend telling your close friends and family and stuff. That way, when because I suffer from social anxiety sometimes too, and it's been pretty bad at some points. If my friends knew that I suffered from social anxiety, because I walk in and they'll pay me out about something or like just mates banter, whatever. But if they knew that I wasn't doing too good, if I'm like, boys, I'm just struggling a bit at the moment, straight away, cool. What can we do to help? So it's not like we have to go and stand on a mountain with a fucking one of those megaphones and yell, I've got depression, or anxiety. It's, for me, it was really useful because of what I want to do in the future. I want to be able to reach more people about this stuff and I want to make this my life. So
yeah.
for me, it was really helpful. I'm not sure if everyone will get the same response because I'm not going to lie to you. Some people will post on their social media and say, oh, I've had depression or whatever. And I straight away think, and I shouldn't, this is just me being honest, but I straight away think, are you lying? Are you doing this for the extra likes and follows? So it's not always going to be a positive thing, putting it out there on socials and stuff. But you definitely got to be speaking to your that's a must.
Yeah.
Close family and friends, and even better, seeing a professional. Maybe not even better, but as well, seeing a professional is very high in my books.
Exactly. Now, you own a gym, MG Fitness. When did you start that up?
Well, the gym has been open for about 3.5 years. And then prior to that, I ran like outdoor boot camps and stuff like that. And I worked in and out of gyms. So I've been in the fitness industry for 12, 13, 14 years or something.
That's awesome, man. I've spoken to a lot of people, and they may have gone through a dark time with drugs or alcohol, depression. Every time, though, the thing that's helped them the most is actually health and fitness and training and nutrition. These things that we can basically do for free helps us the most, and that's why I love health and fitness because it's the most effective way, I believe, in really turning your life around.
Mate, we can't underestimate the importance of sleep, water, sunshine, exercise, eating well. Like this is stuff, as you say, it's free. It's just like from walking 5 meters that way to go and stand in the sun, I'm going to feel a little bit better. If I get an extra hour's sleep, I'm going to feel a little bit better. we tend to, and I say we because I do it all the time. We whinge about stuff. Oh, my health's not good, or I'm tired, or I'm depressed, or whatever. It's like, well, hang on a minute. Have you been drinking too much? Have you been like drinking alcohol too much? Have you been taking recreational drugs? You know, what's your connection like with other human beings? Have you been speaking to people? There's so many factors that play in this thing. You know, Jim Carrey has some awesome quote, which is, I'm not going to completely butcher it, but it's like, I believe depression is legitimate, but if you're not getting, you know, enough sunshine, not drinking enough water, not sticking to a good diet, then you can't be complaining, kind of thing, you know. That's definitely not the exact quote. So Jim Carrey, if you're listening, let us know. Yeah, and it's just the basic. I like to teach. I've learned that I'm not a science guy. I'm not a guy who wants to go pick up all these books and research like why this muscle fires when you do this and all this kind of stuff. I'm about the basics. I'm about the simple messages, because that's what most people can relate to. There's some people out there that need to know the science behind stuff. But the fact is, man, if I told you, get your 10,000 steps, spend a month getting your 10,000 steps every day, every day, speak to one of your mates, make sure you're not eating too much sugar, too much shit, you know, stay away from alcohol as much as, I love a beer, you know, but stay away from alcohol as much as you can. Like, this is basic stuff, right? Like, it really is. But this is the stuff that goes a really long way. You know, you start to remove the things from your life that are serving you no purpose, and then your eyes open. You can see the stuff that serves you purpose, and that's where you start to go. You know, and who doesn't want to live a life of purpose?
Exactly. And it is simple, and it's just about having balance in your life too. Like you can enjoy that beer, but you can still train your ass off as well.
Well, totally. And that's the thing, right? Like, mental health, especially depression and antidepressants and alcohol, don't really go hand in hand. But I love a beer. So I know I don't care. Like, I will happily have, it's my brother and sister's birthday, as I said before, tonight, and we're doing a Zoom, and I'll have a beer, and I'll be very happy to do that. You know, it's not like I'm going to have one beer and I'm going to fall off the rails, but I know that I've got to keep it at that one beer. I can't go and have 6 beers and then, you know, be hungover tomorrow and not train and, you know, end up eating like shit all day. And I get the habits, you know, these habits that we create. There's one thing to create the healthy habits, but we can't ignore these unhealthy habits that we're creating too, right?
Exactly. And it's very hard with times like this when people are locked inside their house. And obviously, you train a lot of clients. Have you seen a decline in their mental health and or physical health? Like, especially if you have clients that maybe have a background in, you know, drinking a lot or drugs, they may resort back to their old habits because now they don't have the gym. Like, how do you kind of help them get through this period?
Well, absolutely. There's been a definite decline. Like, I had a session, like a Zoom session at 12 o'clock today, and there was only one girl in it. And she opened up about her mental health to me, it's amazing. It puts a little smile on my face when even though someone is suffering. I mean, she's not doing too bad now, but she opened up to me about her mental health, and she's not the only one. The amount of people that are reaching out to me, you know, like my mum called me. I shouldn't throw all these people under the bus. My mum called me yesterday and she goes, "Look, I've been real flat the last couple of days." I'm like, "Well, call me, get on the phone," you know. So there's been a definite decline in people's mental health, and those basics that we just spoke about, you know, people are skipping a lot of this stuff, especially families, man. Like, this place turns into a madhouse, 4 or 5 p.m. Excuse me. This place turns into a madhouse. Kids are running around like crazy. I don't want to turn you off having, you know, more kids. I know you got one on the way.
You're scaring me already.
Mate, you're having a girl, right? You'll be fine. No, my kid's a beautiful, beautiful boy. Like, I was at the beach with him earlier and stuff. There's so much fun. I just speak about I'm speaking about the harder times right now. Like, it's hard when they're running around like crazy. And I live in a nice home. I couldn't imagine living in a place out west where the restrictions are worse. Imagine living in an apartment with 3 kids. Like, you're going to drink more. That's how people cope. I'm not saying people should cope that way, but it's how people cope. I know for a fact that if I crack a beer open, I'm going to feel a little bit better straight away. And I know it sounds bad because I'm a PT and likes beer, but whatever, I'm a PT and I like beer. But there's been a definite decline in, even the numbers in my online sessions and stuff, they're definitely not high. I'm also telling people to get outside, because if you're spending your whole day at a desk in your house and then you're seeing me for an hour, yelling at you from the other side of a screen in your house, it's not good. You need to get out, so yeah, there's been a huge decline in that. And it's sad. Like, it's sad because people are single. People want to find love. People want to have kids. People want new jobs, and they can't do all of this stuff now because they're trapped. And it's sad. I feel like they're not speaking about it enough in the media, the mental health side of things. We hear people whinging about it, but there's just not enough going around about it, because I don't want to know what the stats are. I don't want to know how many people have taken their own lives throughout this period, because I don't think it's going to be good.
No, it isn't. But on the other end of that, like, there is a lot of positive to come out of this. Like, when I go for my runs, like before COVID, I'd go for my runs. You'd see a few people out at the soccer fields and out and about and stuff. Now I go out and there's so many families out there playing with their kids, and like, that's probably one of the positives to take out of this, is that people can now actually spend quality time with their kids and their family that they didn't get to do before because of work or other commitments. So there's always a positive to take out of the negative, I believe.
I agree, and thank you for flipping my negativity. I just realized I just kind of brought a heap of negativity, and I don't like doing that. I'm just being honest, but you're so right. And I notice around the streets around here, there's people everywhere. And sure, like, would Gladys be happy with the amount of people that are out walking around? I don't know, but it's really nice that there are. And for me speaking about the negatives of my kids being crazy tonight, there's also the positives of this morning, I went down to the beach with my kids and we're running around and tackling each other and having the time of our lives, so there are definite positives. But, your question around, have you noticed a difference in people's health? Yes, I have. I have noticed that a lot of people have upped their step count and stuff, which is really good. People are like, my mum's going for like 2 or 3 walks a day, because it's all you can really do, and it's a good way to socialize with one other person. So yeah, look, I'm just really hoping that things go back to normal soon, and I also hope that people have been able to pivot, because if this is what happens, we have to be able to take action. Cool, we're in lockdown, gym's shut. What do we do now? Okay, we go Zoom, do a few more podcasts. Cool. What's next? It's teaching us more how to be more resilient. Well, it should be anyway.
I love that you mentioned that, because it's so true. Like, I see this whole COVID thing as a massive challenge, and as humans, we got to be able to adapt and overcome. If not, we're just going to get left behind.
Totally. I love that. Totally, man. I could not agree more. I couldn't agree more.
So talk to me about these men's mental health camps and stuff you do, because that's something I'm really interested in, and it's probably the next step that I would like to take in my journey as well, as maybe run and get involved in those kind of things.
Well, firstly, you live in the most perfect place for this, in the Blue Mountains. Whereabouts in the mountains are you?
Springwood, so it's about 20 minutes up the mountain.
Okay. I love the Blue Mountains, like, so much.
God's country, mate.
We try and go there once a year. I think I've told you that by Instagram. But anyway, there's nothing like bringing people together and connecting through things that make you feel uncomfortable. And, I ran a mental health event out of my gym post-COVID. It was actually Are You Okay? It's a year ago, because it was Are You Okay Day last year, and 10 lads in a room together, all these guys had some form of impact on my life in a different way. And I just reached out and said, "Oi, this is a 10-person invite. Come along. We're going to do a bit of a workout, bit of a mental health chat, and we'll have a beer after." My mate, Pat, he works for Betar, the beer company Betar.
Yeah.
Betar. Yeah. So anyway, he just bought beer. So at the end, we had like a bit of a chat, and it couldn't have gone better. The guys got there. I was absolutely shitting myself, just because it's like I'm looking around and there's like a guy who hosts a TV show or a sporting show. There's guys who professional athletes, and I was like, this is hectic. Like, how's this going to go down? And as soon as I started speaking about my story, these lads were just engaged. And then I asked them, I said, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to go around the room and I want all of you to tell me why you're here. I can't really remember it, Nick, but why you're here, what you want to get out of today, and one tie you have with mental health. And look, everyone's got a tie with mental health. Doesn't mean you have to have suffered from anxiety before or whatever. It's like you could have heard about someone who's suffering or whatever. And I said to them, this is a safe space. You guys can say what you want. If you don't want to say anything, say, my name's John. I'm here because you invited me. Don't have any ties with mental health. But do you think that's how it went? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They all opened up, and it's amazing how many ties these people have with suicide, man. And the fact that it was all male, it meant that these guys could express a bit more vulnerability, I feel. Some of them may have shared the same things, but the fact that it was a men's only event was a bit more important to me, because it was to raise awareness for the rising suicide rates in young males specifically. So, but these events, we need to have more of them, So once we all kind of shared, we did a workout together, and then afterwards we had a beer, and a few of the guys shared a bit about their organizations. Some of them run these mental health organizations, and it was so powerful. If I could run one every week, I would, because it's needed, because it's really enjoyable. It's really nice to watch people experience such, what's the word? There's just knowledge around what is actually going on in the world of mental health and in people's heads. And I run these health retreats. I've only run a couple, literally 2. I want to run way more, because with these health retreats, and the reason why I was speaking about the Blue Mountains before is because I want to run one in the Blue Mountains. You hire a house for a weekend. You get 10 people, male, female. It depends on what you want to do, obviously, but mine have always been male and female. And you get people, and you run over the course of the weekend. You have multiple exercise sessions. So I'll like start off at a gym somewhere, get people out of their comfort zone, a CrossFit gym ideally, because some of these people have never would want to step foot into a CrossFit gym, because it's like the most like hardcore, hectic, but you start the weekend like that, and they see that it's not a bad thing. And then we get a chef to prepare all the meals for the weekend. And I get special guests to come in. I'll get a psychologist or like a mindset coach to come in and speak to people. I'll get someone who has a powerful story to come in. So it's an expensive weekend. It's like $1,500 for the weekend for guests. Should be more, but that's what I charge. But you get, it's like 5-star accommodation. All these people connect. Like, we do lots of storytelling, and obviously after I share my story, what happens next? They get to share a bit about themselves, and because I've gone deep, they go deep. And you got a room full of people, and everyone's fucked up in their own ways. Everyone's gone through their shit, their own shit. And it's just really nice to hear people open up, because they feel that euphoric, like they get invigorated. It's like when you first share, like, it's a room full of strangers. It's like, look, I suffer from really bad anxiety, and someone else will say, well, I my last event, last retreat, one of the girls said that, and she was like shaky. She was scared to say it. And I said, hang on a second. Hey, everyone else, who else here suffers from anxiety? And literally the whole room put their hand up, because it's so common. That these events are powerful. This is what I want the rest of my life to look like, because it's like a holiday, but like a health holiday. These retreats anyway. And the transformation people get from these weekends. It's like, we've got each other right now for an hour. Sure, like we can speak every now and then, but if we spent a full weekend together, in the mountains, it sounds a little bit homosexual, which is fine, but
No homo.
no homo. But like, you think about something somewhere like in the mountains, like imagine doing like a sunrise meditation on the first morning, coming back, doing some journaling, eating some nice breakfast, getting people to contribute and share how they felt as the sun was like, it's powerful, man. Put that on your, it should be writing this down. Put that on your list, because you run, I'll help you do it. You run one of these things and it's a game changer. No one's doing it as well. Like, not to the extent where, you make it specific as to, how to help people transform their lives. Like, it's not like you go away and just get do a bit of fitness, bit of a health kick. And I'm not giving shit to the people who do run companies that do that. This is about full on transformation, full on transforming internally, finding out who you really are, finding out your why, your purpose, what you want, and working out what you do with the rest of your life. And that sounds so hectic, but it's the truth. Whether people, end up fulfilling what they set out in these sessions or not, like, they know what they want. And it's never like, oh, I want to climb up the corporate ladder and make heaps of money and buy a brand new BMW, buy a nice home. That's never what it is. It's always deeper than that. So yeah, as you can kind of tell, I'm passionate about this stuff, man, because, connection, human connection, that's what we need. And, we need more, especially in these times. We need to get people together, and we need to teach people how to live better lives. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's powerful, man. I don't think this will be the last time that we talk about the retreats and stuff, because, as I said, it's something I'm definitely interested in doing, and maybe we can do something together in the future anyway. So
hell yeah.
But as we start to wrap up this podcast, I've got a last few questions for you. Why do you get out of bed every day and want to help people? What is your, why do you actually like to help people?
Because it's such a big question, which I want to give a small answer to, because as you can tell, I can go on and on and on. But I see the transformation in people, and that is why I do what I do. It's just, when you watch someone become happier, there's nothing like it. I'm changing people's lives, and that might sound arrogant, but if you've made it all the way through this podcast, you'll know that I've suffered from, poor self-esteem and depression and anxiety. And, I struggle to get out of bed in the morning because I get up so early, and it's really hard to get motivated, if I'm being honest. But then, when I get online, I'll get into the gym or whatever I'm doing, and I see these people that are there because they want me to help them change their lives. Like, wow, I'm honored that I get the opportunity to do that.
Such a good feeling, eh?
It's amazing. Like, it's if anything, like, the drill. If, like, I spoke to you about how great your content is the other day, like, if someone sees one message on there and think, I'm going to adapt that into my life, and that's a little nugget that can just change everything for them. Like, it's so powerful.
Exactly. Now, what does having a better life mean to you?
Happiness. It means being happy. It means, it's to just grab some of the first question that you asked, like waking up in the morning and just being happy and feeling like you've got something in this world. You're not just getting up and going, fuck, I'm going to work and making some money. You're actually having an impact on people's lives.
Awesome. I feel like your answer to these next few questions will probably be similar as well. How do you define success?
Happiness.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, honestly, it's through happiness, which is hard because My happiness goes up and down. When I feel at the top of my level of happiness, and I do get there, there's no feeling. I look at my wife and I just go, this is it. I am successful. I feel like the king. You know what I mean? When you've experienced such low points, you really get it. You know, you understand that happiness is what everyone needs. And, you know, it's not money. You know, I need to make more money. I believe money does play a part in happiness, because if you don't have any money, then, you know, all my stress comes from money. Like nearly, I want to say 95% of my stress comes from money. So you need money, but happiness, man, happiness. I'm sorry that the answer to both the questions is happiness, but I did elaborate a little bit. So hope that.
It's all good, man. And last question, when your time's all up and done on this earth, what would you like to be remembered for?
Happiness. No. Yeah, wow. That's a deep question. I want to be known as the guy who cared. I want to be known as the guy who people know that my kids are about to walk in the house. I just heard them. I want to be known as the person who really gave a shit. And I'm going to do everything in my power to be that person.
Awesome. Matt, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. It's been a great chat, and we could have kept chatting, and obviously I'll be jumping on your podcast in the next few days. So that'll be an awesome chat as well. But man, super grateful for you jumping on the body today.
Thank you so much, Nick. That was amazing. You're a legend. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, man. And for the listeners, where's the best place to find you on social media?
So yeah, my Instagram is @_Matt_Grant_, and the podcast is Real Life with MG.
Legend. Thank you once again. And for all the listeners, if you got some value from this podcast, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Check out what Matt's doing. He's an absolute legend. And make sure to check out my podcast when I jump on his one. So that'll be an awesome chat too. But thank you for tuning in once again, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.